welcome to Tuesday Night Titans. Approximately a year ago, there was this fellow who broke into Her Majesty's bedroom, as many of you will recall, in England. Well, it's now my pleasure to introduce to you the gentleman who allegedly gave the plans, indeed, to that person who broke into Buckingham Palace, Lord Alfred Hayes. Any truth to that?
Absolutely none. But he did get a cup of tea while he was there, something I've never had here with TNT.
He at least got a couple of, well, a cup of tea at least.
Yes,
I don't know.
Chat.
This week, all kind of action.
Oh, fantastic action. In fact, I'm looking forward so much to every particular part of this program, especially the next part that's coming up.
Yes, indeed, and scheduled to join us momentarily, the incredible Hulk Hogan by way of videotape. Few individuals have been able to transcend the world of athletics professionally and the world of entertainment. Well, one individual who no doubt has really accomplished fabulous goals in that direction is the current World Wrestling Federation champion. And Lord, you of course will remember him before he was champion as Thunder Lips in the movie Rocky III.
Most incredible. He has all different facets to his character. No wonder his parents are so proud of such a young man. In fact, in the name of our program, such a titan in the world of entertainment and sport.
Well, perhaps no individual was any more impressed than his opponent that fateful night in Madison Square Garden when Hulk Hogan became World Wrestling Federation champion, and Lord Hayes in reference, of course, to the Iron Sheik.
Some men seem born to a certain destiny. Every time I look at the incredible Hulk Hogan, he has that charisma about him, that's something that tells me this man was destined to be something. And what is he? He's the world heavyweight champion wrestler. What more could anybody ask for?
On that night in Madison Square Garden, the Iron Sheik, who had held the title for actually a very short period of time, was expecting someone else. He was certainly not expecting 303 pounds.
That's absolutely right. He was expecting somebody a lot smaller, maybe a lot faster, but I think he was absolutely confused, not only by the strength, but the sheer speed as well of Hulk Hogan. What a fantastic person.
Well, indeed, perhaps that's one of the reasons why Hulk Hogan to this day remains World Wrestling Federation champion, because of his speed and his extraordinary strength. He's just awesome.
Oh, his dedication to what he believes in is defies description. I really think that we have a champion here who's going to make his mark for a long, long time to come. Who can beat him?
Well, there are any number of individuals who claim to be able to beat the incredible Hulk Hogan, and I'm sure they're going to have their opportunity. But right now, we'd like to take you back to videotape footage. It'll be Hulk Hogan winning the championship. And then from there, a very special celebration with Hulk and his parents, Pete and Ruth.
If he does it, he's a fool. Suplex coming up. He got that big 305 pounds over and down for the cover. No, he got an arm up. Boy, that was close. Boot to the kidney again. Now he's going for it. Camel clutch coming up. Yes, he's got it.
He's got it. No one has been able to escape that. Look at that. The Sheik really pulling on that chin of the Hulk. The Hulk's got to come out of it. If not, it's over for the Hulk.
This is what did it to Backlund. He's got it on and he's got it applied tight. He's got those fingers interlocked. Only the immense power of the Hulk could save him. He's starting to shake. He's got to reach down inside for that little something extra. Look at, he's powering his way up. He's made it to its knees. That takes the effect away from the hole. Hulk Hogan now stands up with a Sheik and rams him into the top turnbuckle.
The fans are going wild, and I'm so excited. I don't even want to talk. I want to watch the match.
Sheik going up. Hulk Hogan, he drops a big leg on him. He's down for the cover. Hook the leg. 1, 2. He got him. Right now, wrestling fans, let's go back into the dressing room with Gene Okerlund and the new champion, Hulk Hogan.
All right, it's absolute bedlam. bedlam and pandemonium here back in the locker rooms at Madison Square Garden. Gene Oken here with the brand new World Wrestling Federation champion, Hulk Hogan. You proved it to thousands and thousands of fans, not only here tonight in Madison Square Garden, but throughout the wrestling world.
You know something, Gene? They proved it to themselves. All I asked was for the whole WWF to stand behind the Hulkster, and I told them I'd bring it home for the USA. You know something, Gene? It is the dream of a lifetime, Daddy.
Oh.
And you know something? I can't imagine. This is like going to the mountaintop 1,000 times over. I feel the energy. Hulkamania is running worldwide, and it just turns me on, Gene. And I felt every one of those 25, 30+ thousand people with me standing behind me all the way, and it felt great.
Well, you have arrived, Hulk Hogan.
Have you ever seen anything as beautiful as this, Gene? This belt is part yours, too. It's everybody out there's man.
Andre the Giant congratulating the new heavyweight champion of the world.
That's nice of you. I'm really proud of you. And you are a good wrestler and fighter.
Oh, the champagne is flowing. Ivan Putski.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Jack. Very good, Hulk. Can you win?
It's Super Monday at the Garden with the new heavyweight champion, Hulk. The party has not diminished one iota. I want to make an introduction, if I may. Ruth and Pete Hogan, the parents of the incredible Hulk Hogan, here celebrating. I'm going to get your mom first, excuse me. What are your thoughts right now, Mrs. Hogan? Your son, the new world champion.
I'm so excited, I don't know what to say, except I know my son is dedicated, and I tell you, he's been wonderful for the sport, and the sport's wonderful to him.
But I'll tell you, I don't think he could have got to where he got tonight in front of this packed house at Madison Square Garden without parents. Pete, I know you're breathing just about as hard as I am. You didn't get any champagne on you, though, yet.
Not yet.
What about your son, the new World Wrestling Federation champion, the consummate athlete?
Well, we're very proud of him. He's very dedicated and a real professional, and
you got to be proud of him, Mom and Dad.
You know something, Gene? Pete and Ruth are the people that trained me from the day I could toddle, man. And they're the ones that fed me and made these 24-inch pythons. This is Pete's belt and Ruth's belt, and we're going to stand behind it all the way, Daddy. It's USA and Hulkamania running wild.
Yes, indeed, it was party time in Madison Square Garden. When we return, we'll have more of the party, indeed. Following more of the career of the incredible Hulk Hogan, a special interview, and we will take you to a matchup you will not long forget. Matchup involving Dr. D. David Schultz. We'll be back with more of the incredible Hulk Hogan as we continue in just a moment. In just a moment, we'll take you to Hulk Hogan with a recent interview. Mr. Hogan was about to return to Minneapolis, Minnesota. No doubt looking forward to a special World Wrestling Federation matchup, which we will show you later on. But in a moment, we will take you to the interview. Hulk Hogan was returning indeed to Minneapolis, where he has so many, many fans, not only in Minneapolis, but indeed worldwide. Let's go now and hear what the Hulkster had to say as he's setting up for this very special matchup in Minnesota.
I've got to bring in the world's heavyweight champion. He is coming back home, fans. As a matter of fact, he is very much looking forward to getting back to the Twin Cities. World champion Hulk Hogan.
You know me, Gene, it feels good, man, to have everything on your side again. The first thing I want to tell you that turns me on is my main man, Al Jarusha. He's on our team now, man. He's working for the WWF, and he's going to be there that night with that camera to zoom in right on the Hulkster and all of his fans when Hulkamania is running wild and get a close-up shot of these 24-inch pythons back in action in the Twin Cities.
You know who else has showed up back in the Twin Cities?
Tell me, Mean Gene.
In the World Wrestling Federation, he finally made it to the big leagues, Jesse Ventura.
You know, and he's another one. On down the line, Jesse Ventura. You and I are going to have to get it on because the talk is in the streets, man. The Twin Cities wants to see what's going down for real between us. But you know something, Mean Gene? I know you're a rambling man. And all your life you looked around, and finally you found that special woman, man, that brought you, made you shake and drop you to your knees, didn't you?
Yes?
Oh, you're darn right. And the same thing happened to me. But I was rambling around from city to city. And then finally, I hummed in on the Twin Cities with these 24-inch pythons on cruise control. And when I saw the people of the Twin Cities, it was an instant love affair. It made me shake, rattle, and roll, and it dropped me to my knees. And ever since that day, my heart is in the Twin Cities. And now we've got the real world's title, the one from Madison Square Garden. In Twin Cities, we're coming home. Me and Gene, myself, Al Jarusha, and what you gonna do when Hulkamania is running wild on you?
Stay tuned. More exciting action.
All right, that was the Hulkster with his comments leading up to the matchup against Dr. D. David Schultz, one of the toughest hombres that'll ever step into the squared circle with Hulk Hogan, and it was quite a melee, Lord, in Minnesota.
It certainly was, and once again Hulk Hogan proved how capable he was. But what an adversary Dr. David Schultz is for anybody. Surely he must get another title shot somewhere along the line.
No doubt of it, and in a moment we'll take you to the footage with Dr. D. David Schultz meeting the incredible Hulk Hogan in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Met Center.
Concussion to go along with it.
He is hemorrhaging, and badly. Oh, no.
Dr. D plants the boot right in the forehead. And the blood is gushing out as the Hulk is not sure exactly where he is.
Hogan hemorrhaging profusely from the forehead as the result of the slam of the chair into his massage on the part of the challenger and his world title bout, Dr. David Schultz.
What a competitor, Gene. The Hulk, not even know where he is trying to get back into that ring.
Well, the blood is just gushing out of that forehead, and Schultz, Dr. David Schultz, is really handing it out to the world champion. Things do not look all that good for Hulk Hogan at this point in time.
Absolutely not, Gene. The Hulk is in a lot of trouble. All started with a bump that he took outside the ring. Completely dropped 4.5 feet down to this concrete floor, and then the doctor dropped the iron chair and busted him wide open.
Well, Hogan making one step toward retaining the heavyweight championship. Look at that. He got back in the ring at least. And Dr. David Schultz, 40 miles of questionable traffic, 40 miles of bad road.
Schultz with his patented elbow.
Oh,
he dropped it right on the sternum. It could be all over.
This could be it.
We could have a new champion.
History could be made here this week in this title defense of the man that you see lying on the canvas in the middle of the ring, the incredible Hulk Hogan. 1, 2. Look at that and listen to the reaction of this crowd. Double slash to the side of the head. There's a right. Those blows are not facing.
Look at the look.
The champion.
On the Hulk's face.
Look at this. Oh! Hulk now coming alive with a series of rights. Oh, look at that.
Choking him out. And now he's biting the doctor.
I don't know, Schultz may have been ripped open also as a result.
It's possible that also may be some of Hulk Hogan's blood. It's hard to tell at this point.
Al Hogan picking Schultz up, partially by the hair.
Oh! What a forearm cannon job that was. Look out! The big elbow.
1, 2.
No, he pulled him up. Hogan wants to administer some more punishment.
Why would he
to
do
Dr.
that?
D.
He had the man. He had him beat.
Gene, look at his face. It's covered with blood. He wants the doctor to pay.
This crowd is electrified by it all. The World Wrestling Federation expanding throughout the United States, Canada, throughout the entire world.
Slam!
With authority.
Look out, the big leg drop. Yes!
Oh. Now he can pin him. 1, 2.
No!
You've got to be kidding me.
He pulled him up again, saying, no, it's not right yet. I'm not satisfied yet. He's biting the doctor. Hulk Hogan has lost it. He's gone bananas.
What a matchup this has been.
2 opportunities to get a fall on Dr. D, and now he says, I'm ready. Now I'm ready for the 3 count. No.
The Incredible Hulk Hogan still bleeding heavily. Throws Schultz out to the rope. Uh-oh. I've got an idea what Hogan has got in mind for Schultz. And I don't like to think about it.
Look out.
No. No.
Right into the steel post. Yes.
Oh. I can't believe that. He picked them up and rammed them right into the post.
Just like a javelin, he speared Dr. D head first into that steel post. The doctor has to be busted wide open. Hulk out once more on the arena floor. Looking around.
Oh, Schultz, oh my God.
Schultz is bleeding profusely now.
Gee, he has been split wide open, and no wonder.
I can't believe he's still conscious. He
Oh,
rammed him
again.
in a post again.
Oh. Oh, no.
Well, he went in just long enough to break the count.
Schultz. Schultz open, wide open.
Hulk now with a chair. Oh! Dr. D is bleeding profusely.
I don't know if these men are going to be able to walk away from this at all.
Throws him back up into the ring apron.
I thought for a moment that Schultz might have been going for a foreign object, but look at Dr. D. Schultz.
Dr. D doesn't know where he is, Gene.
Both men split wide open. This is a war, and it may be the final conflict. The way it looks at this point, it very well could be.
Dr. D going for the ride. Elbow right to the wounded forehead area once more. And the Hulk, for all intents and purposes, is really doing it.
Oh, look at this crowd respond to the punishment that is being dished out by the world's heavyweight champion. Referee Joe Murata saying open up that hand.
Dr. D's blonde hair is now red, crimson with the blood.
Oh, did you see that?
Kicked him right in the kisser. And the Hulk is now enjoying this fight. Saying, get up, Dr. D. I'm not finished yet.
Boy, is this a classic. This is probably one of the greatest matches I have ever seen. And only in the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, clothesline now on a part of Schultz, and perhaps earlier on, Hulk Hogan should have taken advantage of the opportunity to pin the challenger.
Dr. D reaching down inside, using a desperation maneuver off that turnbuckle, and caught the big guy coming in. David now with an elbow, and he's got the Hulk in a prone position.
Wait a minute.
No.
Schultz going up on those ropes, up to the second, now up to the third. And momentarily, I would suspect Dr. David Schultz will be airborne with an elbow forward.
Right elbow.
Oh.
Missed its mark as the champion rolled out of the way at the last moment.
Talk about your action. This is absolutely unbelievable, Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, another clothesline cannon shot. Down for the heel kick. He's got it. Capacity crowd on its feet as Hulk Hogan successfully defending his title this week here on the World Wrestling Federation.
Hulk Hogan victorious in Minneapolis, to be exact, over Dr. D. David Schultz. As you said earlier on, Lord Alfred Hayes, I would suspect that we have not heard the last of Dr. D.
Well, you know, you have to understand the history of this. Dr. Schultz, or Dr. David Schultz, in his time, he has waged a brutal campaign against Hulk Hogan. And if you were watching Hulk Hogan for the first time, you may have got the idea that perhaps he was too violent, but he wasn't really. He was only giving kind for kind. and I think Schultz got what he deserved. But always bear in mind Hogan is a fantastically scientific wrestler also.
Well, I'm sure he'd much prefer to wrestle on a scientific basis than we saw the rather roughhouse, brutal tactics that we saw in the matchup from Minneapolis. And you will note, of course, our attempt here on Tuesday Night Titans to somewhat censor some of the rather more vivid aspects of that matchup. We'll be back as we continue with a very important surprise here on TNT. Our next guest is a gentleman who, well, in any event, he's regarded as one of the roughest wrestlers in professional wrestling today. His name is the Butcher, Butcher Paul Vashon, to join us. Good day, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Mr. Vashon, from, I guess, one of the most famous families in the history of professional wrestling. You, your brother, and your sister as well, all great wrestlers.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here on TNT. They said to me, Butcher, you're going to go on TNT. And I said, well, what am I going to do there? They said, well, you're going to meet Vince McMahon and you're going to meet the Lord. I said, just a minute, I don't think I'm ready yet. But in any case, it's nice to be here, Lord, and nice to see you again.
It's certainly very nice to have you here.
Vince.
You make a
Butcher,
change.
one of the things that you do, one of the many things, a multi-talented individual, I must say, aside from your wrestling skill, is your ability to sing.
Yeah, it's hard for people to believe that, Vince, because for some reason they don't associate the personality of the wrestler with any other talent. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but it's definitely true. They don't expect, especially wrestling fans, don't expect a 300-pound, bald-headed, bearded old French-Canadian lumberjack to be able to sing. Although it doesn't surprise me at all because I come from a family of 13 children, and I mean the only entertainment that we had was to sing. We used to sing for ourselves. My mom, my dad, my 7 brothers and 5 sisters. In the evening, we couldn't afford to go to the movies or any sort of entertainment like that. So we sang, by golly, we did, and we enjoyed it, and I still do.
Well, Butcher, if you would please strike up the band.
Yes, sir. Be a
All right.
Thank you.
Butcher Paul Vashon making his way over now to begin a bit of festive activity. What are we going to hear, Butcher?
Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un sourire qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de celle auquel j'appartiens. Quand elle me prend dans ses bras, elle me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Elle me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est elle pour moi, moi pour elle dans la vie. Elle me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui va. Too dangerous, chérie, too dangerous for me. You know I can't resist you. Hold me close and hold me tight. I'm in a world apart. La vie en rose.
say that I, too, did not expect that from a 300-pound wrestler. As a matter of fact, the voice that I would expect we would hear be a lot different than the one we just heard. And one of the reasons why is we'll take you now to footage with Butcher Paul Vashon, as we're more accustomed to seeing. And you will note that the Butcher is quite impressive in the squared circle, and I might add, quite aggressive as well. Let's take you now to the Butcher in action.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my right from Montreal, Canada, weighing 282 pounds, here is Butcher Paul Vashon. And his opponent, weighing 250 pounds, from the Fiji Islands, here is Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Well, this crowd at its feet, tremendously popular Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
One of the most incredible athletes in professional wrestling today, Mr. Snuka. Preparing for his matchup with the Big Butcher at 282 pounds. Vashon against Snuka is going to be quite a match indeed.
Vashon, ring veteran.
There's a look at the poster of the Superfly. Boy, he can fly like no one. All right, now we're ready for one-on-one competition. Look at the Butcher raking the back of Superfly Snuka. And this capacity crowd is no doubt upset over the latest turn of events. Vashon is really taking it to Snuka.
Now, Paul the Butcher Vashon.
And 282 pounds of him is really having an effect on the Superfly.
Irish whip from Vashon.
Vashon hesitating, but nonetheless moving in now and continuing his attack on the phenomenal Superfly Snuka. Snuka backing off. Again, Vashon in the corner with a blatant chokehold, and the referee perhaps.
Oh, look at this. He is biting it. He's biting the Superfly.
Referee certainly at any moment now could disqualify Mr. Vashon.
Well, I hope Vashon realizes fully what he is dishing out. He may ultimately have to take in return from the popular Superfly.
Things looking quite bleak, however, at the moment for Superfly Snuka. Vashon just has been all over him. A blatant chokehold. The forearm, the left forearm of Vashon right up against the throat of Snuka. Snuka spinning into it now, getting a little bit of room. Snuka with an elbow. Vashon in the corner. Snuka now countering quite a bit. Brings him out to the middle of the ring. Snuka with a headbutt.
Oh! Look at that!
Superfly outside. Snuka going up to the top rope.
Listen to these
Superfly Snuka with another headbutt.
Oh, the Superfly airborne on to victory over Butcher Vashon. Oh, what action!
We'll get the official time.
Here is the time, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. It is the winner, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
What an impressive comeback. Big offensive mounted in the early going of the bout by Butcher Vashon. And Snuka took some tremendously harsh treatment.
We are back, and we again would like to thank Butcher Paul Vashon for joining us. And Lord, I think the mail has arrived.
I think they're dropping out. And if that postman does that again, I'm definitely going to have to see to him myself, or is there a dog here somewhere? Maybe I could set on to him. However,
nonetheless, what do you have in the mailbag, His Lordship, so that we may find out indeed what comments we have this week?
well, scribbled all over here. It's from Seattle.
As in Washington, I would say.
Isn't it about time the championship
Are you sure
committee...
we don't want to try this?
Jimmy Superfly Snuka was given a world title shot. Alan Bostic. I don't know whether that's an English name, but the writing wasn't too good.
I would say that Mr. Snuka is... I would say he's due for a title shot. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he would look forward to it. What a matchup that would be.
Wouldn't that be a tremendous match?
Superfly Snuka, one of the greats. What else do you have there?
He's in good condition all the time. Well, this is a little clearer. This
yes.
is from Minneapolis, and it's to the TNT. I have made many inquiries to the whereabouts of Red Bastien. Is he still wrestling? My mother said he was very handsome. Could you show some old matches of him on TNT? Betty Powers.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just may have some footage in the future of Red Bastien when he was in his heyday. He currently, by the way, is residing in the state of California and looks fabulous, and also is using his experience in the World Wrestling Federation as a special guest referee, and I might add a great one.
He is, indeed, in every aspect. Is he still as good-looking as her mother thought?
I'll let her mother be the judge when we play the tape. What else do you have there, Lord?
Well, I think we've got time for another one. This one is from Los Angeles. My friend and I have a $10 bet going on who is the youngest. $10. It's a big bet.
As in the one after 9. $10.
A bet going on who is the youngest, John Studd or Sergeant Slaughter. Also, is it true that John Studd was born in Los Angeles, signed Lisa Barton?
John Studd is from Los Angeles. As to which individual would be the younger, I don't know. I would.
It's very difficult to say, isn't it? What do you think? Sergeant Slaughter? No, I don't know. I really don't know. They look
regardless of their age, I must say they are two of the great competitors in the World Wrestling Federation today. With that in mind, greatness certainly comes to mind when you think about our next guest, as a matter of fact, because he was without a doubt one of the all-time greats in the history of the World Wrestling Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, Gorilla Monsoon. Have a seat. We are very proud to have you with us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be a part of the greatest wrestling program since the Greeks started it.
Well, that takes some time, I'm sure.
I'll tell you, it certainly is an asset to be associated with an organization that can produce this kind of programming, and it's a great testament to you personally.
Thank you very much. As far as your abilities in the ring, Lord Alfred Hayes, I'm sure you would concur that there were very few, if any, that could equal the skills of the, I would suggest, what was the fighting weight? Right at
401.
401. I was going to say high 300s, but very few individuals could move as you did. What do you think, Lord?
I think so. I saw a wrestler once, in fact I wrestled him, Chris Taylor, who was 400 pounds, but he was nothing in comparison to our present guest here, Gorilla Monsoon, who has created a name for himself that is legendary amongst wrestling. He's
However, and if I may interject this, in mentioning Chris Taylor, we take you back to you, one of the first American athletes to tour the country of Russia. Would you share a little light as you were from the collegiate ranks at that time?
Well, in the summer, Vinny, of 1959, I was one of the representatives that made up an Olympic team that went to quite a few Iron Curtain countries, including Russia, Turkey, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, doing promotional work for the 1960 Olympics. And unbelievable education in itself, a trip of that nature. We never drew under 100,000 people at any of our matches, of which we were not remunerated too well.
I wouldn't think so, no.
I think we got $4 a day spending money each.
Whether you needed it or not, right?
Whether we needed it or not. But it certainly was an experience, and I can attribute a lot
a great many things to amateur wrestling. It's a great character builder, and it certainly paved the way for me in professional wrestling.
When you graduated from Ithaca College, did you feel that you were then going to enter the ranks of pro wrestling?
It was the farthest thought from my mind, Vinny. I was not a wrestling fan. I was not a professional wrestling fan. I was a teacher in high school, on a high school level.
What subject?
And,
what subject were you teaching?
English, primarily, and coaching football and wrestling. And one Sunday morning, I received a phone call from the late Frank Tunney, and asked me if I was interested in being a professional wrestler.
As far as entering the ranks were concerned, was it difficult for you?
Well, I think it was only the part that I was not familiar with air-type wrestling. However, all professional wrestlers are familiar with amateur wrestling and have an extremely well background in that particular aspect of the sport. And so, I don't know, I think maybe my size was a little in my favor. Gave some guys a negative attitude immediately. But I made the transition quite easily, and it certainly has done a great deal for me.
Well, one individual that certainly had a negative attitude after they met you was a gentleman by the name of Muhammad Ali. We'll take you to some very special footage now. Gorilla Monsoon and his guest, uninvited Ali.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce the principals of this next match, I'd like to introduce to you at ringside, without a question of doubt, one of the greatest heavyweight boxing champions of all time, Muhammad Ali.
And a roar of the crowd for Muhammad Ali. Looking on here this week at some professional wrestling. Muhammad taking a long, keen look here at the action at the wrestling ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match, one fall, a 10-minute time limit. Your referee is Dick Worley. And in the ring at this time, wearing the blue tights from the Isle of Malta, weighing 265 pounds, Baron Mikhail Sakura. And his opponent, soon to enter this ring, here he is, from Woodingboro, New Jersey, in black, with the red stripe, the all-Asiatic champion at 312 pounds, Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon looked down as Sakuna attacks Monsoon from behind. Baron Mikhail Sakuna wasting no time against the big 400-pounder. Hard rights and lefts, pounding away almost at will. Gorilla, one of the toughest athletes now. Monsoon doing his own chopping. Up under the neck now, Monsoon coming on strong, measuring the man. Sakuna obviously dazed. Monsoon has him, chops him up, and out goes Baron Mikhail Sakuna. And there's Muhammad Ali standing up, pointing his finger at Gorilla Monsoon. Wait just a minute. Ali has his jacket off. He has his tie off. What is he gonna do? Muhammad Ali is gonna commit suicide here. Ali, look at this. Ali's coming in the ring. And Muhammad Ali is in the ring. Ali taking his shoes off. Apparently he wants to go round and round with Gorilla Monsoon. A big, big mistake on the part of the boxing heavyweight champion. What's going to happen here? Muhammad going to stick him, trying to stick with a quick left. Muhammad now backing up, doing a little bit of dancing, not too much. You see Gorilla Monsoon circling around. Now Muhammad just stay there. Muhammad, you see, with his hands down by his side, at any moment that lightning-like speed of Muhammad Ali could make itself evident here against 400-pound Gorilla Monsoon. Monsoon with another little jab there. Ali's not finding his mark at all. Muhammad, oh, look at this. Airplane spin. Round and round. Down he goes. And there's Gorilla Monsoon, who could do anything in the world he wanted to at the moment. Monsoon could do anything to Ali. Ali dazed. Ali shaken, but still once more. No, he doesn't either. Muhammad Ali has learned a lesson here the hard way. Muhammad said he could beat any professional wrestler any time. I believe he learned here at this moment that he cannot take Gorilla Monsoon, nor possibly could he take anyone else of the caliber of Monsoon. As now they're taking him back to the dressing room. We can get a word here with Gorilla Monsoon. Gorilla Monsoon. Gorilla, we can just have a word here with you if we may. A moment ago, Muhammad Ali was out here at ringside, and a moment ago your opponent was flying over the top rope, bearing Mikhail Cicluna. At that time, Muhammad Ali decided to make it his business to get into the ring and prove that indeed a professional boxer's skills are superior to those of a professional wrestler, but I don't believe he proved that at all.
Vince, you know, this guy may be a great boxer, but he don't belong inside that squared circle with a wrestler. That was proven, and that's for sure. This guy is nothing. This guy doesn't know wrist lock from wristwatch. How can he get in there with a wrestler? All he knows is throw a few lousy jabs. That's not going to stop a wrestler.
Let's take a look at the action we saw earlier here with Gorilla Monsoon, who stood back, Here we see now Muhammad trying to reach you. Quick with a quick left jab, trying to reach again. He can't reach you. He's too far back. He doesn't want to move in on you. But Muhammad Ali now sticking, jabbing.
As soon as you grab a boxer, he's finished. A boxer can't fight when you tie him up.
Now he's pointing his finger right at you. What's he saying to you?
He's saying, I don't stand a chance with a fighter. There you go. There's your
Up he goes. Gorilla Monsoon has him high in the air. Round and round and round he goes until Muhammad Ali doesn't know where he is. Gorilla Monsoon sitting around and round and then flattens the man out, back first, and there obviously you could have done away with him had you wanted to.
No question about it. No question about it. He was at my mercy. I could have done anything. I could have, at that point, I could have wrist locked him, broke his arm, broke his leg, broke his neck, done anything. Great boxer, terrible as a wrestler.
Great boxer, but terrible as a wrestler. Muhammad Ali entering a domain about which he knows absolutely nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
Well, there, Gorilla Monsoon. And I must say, I'm sure that was quite a surprise when Mr. Ali chose to step into the ring. The year, by the way, was 1977, and Muhammad Ali was then world's heavyweight boxing champion. A little post-comment on that.
Well, he got an education, Vinny, in that as many other professional athletes get an education when they decide to step into the field of professional wrestling, where you're meeting the greatest conditioned athletes in the world by far. Even through amateur athletics, when we were wrestling, we would take football players and basketball players who thought they were in great condition and take them up on a wrestling mat, and in a minute and a half they're stepping on their tongue because it's a different ball game. You don't condition every part of your body like you do to be a professional wrestler. And we have some great guys today who are in such great shape that I would not question to put any amount of money against any other professional athlete, and I know our guys would come out on top.
Well, you mentioned conditioning, and there's perhaps a most unique situation in terms of wrestling being the greatest martial art, and I would think that you have many other athletes at a tremendous disadvantage, no matter what kind of condition they're in.
There's no question, because they don't know, number one, the fundamentals of wrestling. And you take a boxer like Ali, who, in my book, is the greatest fighter of all time. But Ali, as soon as he gets in reaching distance, it's over. Same way with Andre the Giant with his confrontation with a boxer. As soon as Andre got his hands, Chuck Wepner really didn't know what to do. He was stymied. I was in the corner that night, and the look on his face was just a look of amazement as to the power that Andre possesses, and Andre played with him like a toy. There's no professional athlete in any field that's going to step into professional wrestling ring and take advantage of a professional wrestler. It just cannot be done.
We would like to thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, and Lord, so good to see you again.
Thank you. That certainly was a revelation. I loved every minute of it.
Great.
Gorilla Monsoon, our special guest here on Tuesday Night Titans, one of the all-time greats. We'll be back in a moment. We are back, and in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be joined by A rather controversial individual, to say the least. I'm sure you'd concur with that, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh, undoubtedly. Unusual? I don't know. Is there something wrong? Does he have complete control of his mental faculties? Or is all this a ploy just to make his name the biggest name anybody has ever seen, not only in professional wrestling, but now in the world of rock and roll?
Well, I would say you could call someone unusual who's approximately 300 pounds and wears rubber bands in his cheeks and beards and things of that nature. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest to join us, as a matter of fact, momentarily will be Captain Lou Albano. Mr. Albano, does it bother you that you are something... Does it bother you, Mr. Albano, that you are something less than welcomed as far as general wrestling fans are concerned? I mean, you heard the boos here moments ago. It seems to me that you are a most unpopular individual. How does that sit with Lou Albano?
You know, McMahon, I don't live by applause or by boos. I live by the green, brother, money. And all I care about is I'm the maker of 14 tag team champions, and I'm also the maker of rock and roll stars. So, money is the name of the game. I'm not looking for applause. I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking to shake your hand, all dressed up with that $1,000 suit, and this other talks over here like, I say, pip, pip, and all that stuff. You don't have to put your hand out to me. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the green. I'm looking for the bread. I'm looking to do what's right. I'm looking for tag team champions. I'm looking to make rock stars. I'm looking to be on top, and I'm looking to project my name.
If we just interject this one word, it seems to me that lately you've been spending a great deal more time in the world of music. Please.
What's the matter, little gas? Put it up for the esophagus and project it out. It's the best thing to do so you don't get hot and a heartburn. You got it?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Mr. Albano, you seem to be spending a great deal more time in the world of music as of late than you do in the world of pro wrestling. Obviously spending a great deal of time in terms of this controversy with Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, go ahead. Get that, Lordship?
How disgusting.
Beg your pardon, Lord?
I said, how disgusting.
Well, then move down the end of the chair and you won't get it. Disgusting. What are you, a teetotaler?
All right, Mr. Albano. What do you really know about music? It seems to me that you know very, very little about music.
My good man, just keep quiet right there. I happen to be an accomplished musician. I happen to write the lyrics of Cyndi Lauper and Girls Want to Have Fun time after time. I happen to play 9 instruments fluently, but piano is my best one. My mother was a concert pianist, as you know, played for Paderewski back in 1927. I'm one of the best. I'm an accomplished musician. I can get up, I can play at any time.
You do stretch the truth a little bit.
Well, just a minute. You doubt my word? Well, let me show you something. Let me show you something, Mr. Big Shot. You want to see me on the piano? Let me show you.
I would like very much. Lord, would you like? I'd like.
Just a minute. What do we got over here? Blue and yellow.
If you would bear with
right
us,
there.
Lou Albano approaching the
Hey,
band.
Charlie, off the seat. Come on. Get out of here and make a move. Come on. Get out of my way. You put them things off to get over there. And don't nobody touch nothing over there.
Are you serious? He can't even sit down.
Can't play that.
Look at him. That's 300 pounds. I wonder if the bench will support that. Weight. Oh, do you think he knows which end of the piano he's to play?
I don't think so.
Terrific, Mr. Albano. Great. That was probably one of the best pieces. Oh, here we go now.
Going to play the same one again, I think.
I think the bench needs to be moved over just a little bit more.
He's going to sit inside it.
Yeah.
Boy, is this thing out of tune?
Could we please, Mr. Albano?
Shut up and give the other man a chance. Shut up over there.
This is too much. I don't think.
I'm sorry. that is,
All right? What are you looking at, dude? It sounded like you got a haircut. Then over there,
Very
the
good.
drummer, the guy like the haircut looking at me. How do you like that? How do you like that, Junior? I always call him Junior. How do you like that, Junior?
Mr. Albano, I'm impressed, really. I guess you really do know something about music. I
See what
guess
I
there
mean?
is some truth to your musical credentials, but how much truth is there, Mr. Albano, to this relationship that you have alleged in that you have made Cyndi Lauper probably one of the greatest stars in all of rock and roll today? I mean, is there any truth to that? How much truth is there to it? Obviously, there must be some truth to it.
Well, let me tell you this, Vinnie McMahon Jr. I took Cyndi Lauper. She was nothing but a barroom. I'll call her a barroom lady. I don't like to use the word broad, but that's what she was.
Not.
A barroom lady. Took her out, projected her career, taught her how to conduct herself. I taught her the PEG principle, politeness, etiquette, and grooming. As she stated right on TV Land, you know when you go to dinner, most of your contracts are done over the table. So in other words, when you're out etiquette, in other words, when you're eating, you got to know where the butter dish is located, to your right or to your left, or you're grabbing the wrong guy's butter. I showed her how to do this. When you got a mouthful of food and someone asks you a question, you don't want to spit it on the floor. You want to learn how to conduct yourself. Right. So I taught her etiquette. I taught her how to dress, because you can see by my attire, I'm the number one. What are you looking at, stupid? The number one man as far as etiquette, politeness, and grooming. I took this young lady, I made her what she is.
All right, Mr. Albano.
You know, Mr. Roddy Piper, and may I call you Mr.
Yes,
it's been such an honor and a pleasure to be at your side, a man that is so fluent and great in wrestling knowledge as a manager, as a wrestler. That is I've never seen anything in your class. Personally, I would have loved to been your manager, Roddy.
Wait a second. If you to manage me, you see, when it comes right down to it, you really know a man's professional capabilities. When I take a look at a man like you, who has not only been the world's greatest manager, successful in history, but actually takes people like Cyndi Lauper. You sit there and you boo, but here is proof. Take Cyndi Lauper, the #1 star you got in the whole wide world right now, and you took her and managed her career from nothing. Is that correct? From nothing?
Took her from nothing, Roddy, and I made her a superstar. From number 90 to 80 to 70 to 60 to 50 to 57 and a half to 40 to 30 to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, -1, back to a 1. Made her. Girls want to have fun. Junior, I produced, I wrote, and I directed the entire video for MTV. It was Captain Lou Albano that was behind it. I wrote the lyrics, wrote the music, the whole bit, produced it, directed it, stood there. I put my time in, devoted, stayed up nights, night in and night out, studied the score, looked it over, picked the right cast, picked the people that would fit, suitable for Cyndi to make it a success. And it became #1 in the country, #1 in the world, sold 2,976 copies.
It was no doubt an unbelievable success, and as a testament to that, as a matter of fact, moments from now we'll take you back to Rowdy Roddy Piper in Piper's Pit, and we will see, obviously, some of the awards that Miss Lauper has won.
I have here Mr. Lou Albano, the captain himself, the greatest manager of wrestlers, but not only that, has supremed himself, the greatest rock and roll manager ever, with Cyndi Lauper here. I want to give you credit, and just for the skeptics, let's clear it up right now, Captain.
Roddy Piper, you're a brilliant strategist and a genius, but let me show you what I did for Cyndi. USA Today. Let's take a look at that. Cyndi Lauper, it's USA. You've all heard of course, Life magazine.
This is
Fine
Life.
publication.
This is Life, man.
Let's take a look at the cover of Life magazine. Cyndi Lauper. We'll get inside now. See what the captain did for Cyndi. Here you go. Major magazine, Life magazine. All together. Perhaps you've like to see Cindy's album. Right on the made her #1. Took her from 70 to 60 to 50 to 40, 49 and a half down to a -1, right back to #1.
Did you make her sexy?
Yes, I made her sexy. Oh, I did. You've heard of the music paper? Take a look at it. Captain Lou Albano once again projecting the greatest entertainer pound for pound in the world today. Now let's look at the record. Here she is again, all cover, nothing but cover. Captain Lou Albano, here you go. Take a look at it. This is what I did. You've heard of gold albums. Now let's get a look. Here we go. She's so unusual. This is right here. Girls just want to have fun. PEG principle, politeness, etiquette, and grooming.
Tell me something. Do you think that you could bring Cyndi Lauper on my pit?
Why not, Roddy?
Well, all is not well, actually. You would think that it would be, to a certain extent. Lou Albano claiming a great deal of credit for the success of Cyndi Lauper. Lou Albano was unable, or at least failed to, on that occasion, bring Miss Lauper onto Piper's pit. And furthermore, there was a actually, I guess you'd call it a confrontation, Mr. Albano. Lou Albano finally was on Piper's pit, and finally Miss Lauper appeared. We'll take you now to what happened when we saw Miss Lauper on Piper's pit.
A lot of controversy as we've been going on along about Cyndi Lauper. Lou Albano and some jerk comes out here named Dave Wolf, says Cyndi Lauper is supposed to come out, and time after time we try to get Cyndi Lauper to come out, and all of a sudden there's no Cyndi Lauper. I do happen to have the album cover of Cyndi Lauper, which they are giving to the folks out there, but you know, I'm the kind of guy that I just don't fool around. I'm not the kind of guy just to say something and then don't get it done. You see, when RP talks, people listen. And if I want to get something done, I get it done. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you the female entertainer of the year, Miss Cyndi Lauper herself. Sit down. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. You look... First of all, I would like to say to you, you look wonderful, Cyndi. It's been a long time coming for us to try to get you here. Cyndi has flown 7,000 miles to come here and see us. And one thing that I admire about you is we both have something in common. We are both #1 at what we do, and you, time after time, and the records that you have out, the girls just want to have fun with all your...
They do.
They do. They just, girls just want to have fun. Where have you been? What have you been doing?
Oh, well, I'm glad to come back. I've been in Europe. It's nice to see all the wrestling fans and the WWF. And you, Rodney, how are you? It's great. I've been in Europe. I've been in London.
You've been in London, England. Where?
London, England, same thing.
London, England, same thing. Tell me, who does your hair?
Oh, me and Patrick, we do it.
Who's Patrick?
Oh, he's in the back somewhere. He helps me out. Pat.
You look terrific. You look terrific. You know, as we were saying, we're both #1 in what we do. And I'm a self-made man, and I realize that through the time you've had a lot of friends help you out, and especially one, Captain Lou Albano, your manager, the man who has taken care of you and actually brought you from nothing and taken you up.
Rodney, wait.
Yes, darling.
No, I love Lou, but he's not my manager. A lot of people think that.
No, wait a second. You're not calling, wait. No, I know you don't mean that. You're not calling Lou Albano a liar. I know that. He's your manager.
Lou would never say that. Lou, hey, how are you?
Cyndi, sweetheart, how you been, baby? How you doing? Cyndi, tell all these people out here how I took you, Cyndi, and found you in New York City and Queens, and how I made you a superstar. Tell them what I did for you, Cyndi.
Lou, come on. Only kidding. No.
No, wait.
No, wait a minute, Cyndi. Tell them how I wrote the words for time after time, Cyndi. And girl...
Lou, he's kidding. He's only kidding.
No, wait a second. Now, you've told me that you've taken 75%. You told me that you brought her from nothing.
Took her from telling how women, Cyndi, belong in a kitchen and pregnant, Cyndi, that no woman's ever accomplished anything without a man behind her. Cyndi, tell them that.
Wait, Lou, you know, I don't like that. You're only fooling around, right? Because I don't like that stuff.
No, wait a second. This is not fooling around.
You're not kidding?
Cyndi, just shut up for a minute, Cyndi. Tell them what I did for you, Cyndi. Tell them how you... Hold that up. Tell them how you came off my reputation, Cyndi. Captain Lou Albano, how all women are nothing, Cyndi. They're slime. How it takes a man to make a woman...
1 second now, just calm down.
I saw the video myself, and I know what he's done.
Yeah, about 1 second in the video. What are you, crazy?
No, it was a big segment, Cyndi. You wrote off for me, Cyndi.
Wait a second. I saw the video myself. You can't come out here and tell me that this man is a liar.
I'm not calling him a liar. I don't want to get mad. Now, don't get me mad.
Wait a second. We don't care who gets mad. I'll tell you something. Just wait a second, young lady. I don't care what you think.
Just a minute, Cyndi. I want you to be honest. Tell them how I took you abroad hanging around New York.
What? Abroad?
Go ahead. Tell them a barroom broad made you, Cyndi. Go ahead, Cyndi. Tell them the truth, Cyndi.
little broad come out here on TV land, humiliate me, hit me with that pocketbook. You know, Vince McMahon, she had a bottle of, I don't know, Chanel No. 5 or perfume in that. She heard me, she had a lump on my head. Had the audacity to come out here on TV land, humiliate me. That nothing but a barroom tramp that I took and I made. She had a tin cup.
Get a hold of yourself, please.
She had a tin cup around her neck in front of Madison Square Garden with a little sign, help a rising young superstar. I made her. I put nickels and
She
dimes in her cup.
subsequently has
I wrote the
challenged you,
songs.
Mr. Albano.
And she challenged me, I accept. I'm ready for the Cyndi Lauper. You're a disgrace to your family, to yourself, to your mother, to your family, everyone you stand for. I wrote the music. I wrote the lyrics. I directed. I took you from a barroom broad and made you a lady. Got it, Lauper? Made you a lady, if that's possible. Got it, Lauper? Got it, Lauper? Got it, Lauper?
We'll be back with a different point of view. Earlier on, our guest Lou Albano, and of course Mr. Albano took a great deal of credit for the unparalleled success for Miss Cyndi Lauper. However, if you will note on the jacket of her many albums, you probably will not see the name Lou Albano. As a matter of fact, you will not see the name Lou Albano in terms of credits on the producing or directing, or for that matter, the writing of the videos that Miss Lauper has appeared in. Lou Albano claims he is the maker of Miss Lauper as far as her success is concerned. However, for the record, and as a matter of fact, we are about to introduce to you her manager of record. Her real manager is such, despite what Mr. Albano says. It is now our privilege to have with us Mr. David Wolf.
Sort of happy to be here.
Oh, I'm sure you are to a certain extent, I would hope, and that you could maybe shed a little light and clear up some of this controvery. Earlier on, I don't know if you were with us or not, and
I had the displeasure of seeing...
You heard what
yes,
Mr. Albano was saying. Well, there must be some credit must be given to Lou Albano, I would think. Well, we did see him in a number of Cyndi Lauper videos. How do you account for that?
Well, in the beginning, when we were making our first video, we more or less invited Lou to participate in the video, just to play the part of her dad, because we thought it would be very funny.
Did he produce?
Absolutely not, Vince.
What about direct?
He had absolutely nothing to do with the video in any way, shape, or form, other than just participate in it. And he played the part of her father, and that was basically the whole thing. Everything else that he has said, he's fabricated. It's all lies. It's a publicity stunt on his part to ride on our shoulders, principally Cyndi's shoulders, and take advantage of her incredible success at this point.
I would think that Miss Lauper, as well as yourself, would be very upset at this juncture after the video that we saw there of the confrontation.
Well, we're extremely upset about it. As a matter of fact, he even had the audacity to go up to our record company and demand money for them, and claim that if it weren't for him, having been part of her career, she would have never have made it. And, you know, this kind of embarrassment to constantly have to deal with this sort of thing is just totally abhorring.
Well,
Took her from a nothing and made
You
her
know,
what she was. She was a nothing.
You know, Vince, I have no problem if...
Please.
You know,
Don't let that bother you,
I
please.
really
David.
don't want to deal with that. I mean, like, I'm happy to talk to you, and if indeed you want to know the facts about the situation, I'd be happy to.
I'd like to get in that in just a moment. Right now, we'd like to take you to some very unique footage of Miss Lauper and a very special challenge.
It's a pleasure to be here in your humble abode. I was at a recording studio earlier with Lauper, and you would not even believe what this ungrateful wench said after what you did. I want you to roll it. Show them what she said.
Yeah,
here I am, rolled around. Ms. Lauper. Obviously, I've accepted your invitation to come here. Obviously, for your apology for your conduct on the last Piper's Pit with the great Mr. Albano and myself, and I can assume that you're being a nice lady by apologizing, and for the people, and especially for myself and Al, just go for it.
Apologize? Are you crazy? I ain't gonna apologize.
Wait a second, you're not going to apologize? You're not going to apologize for what you did in front of millions of people? Are you going to sit here and tell me that after what you did, the way you conducted yourself as a lowlight, that you're not going to apologize for nothing?
Yo, you're on my turf now, pal. Why don't you lighten up? Let me tell you something. Lou said a lot of things. He said a lot of things that made my mother cry. My family is very upset. He didn't just hurt me. He said he hurt my parents. He hurt my grandparents. You know, he didn't make me. That guy's been riding on my back. I let him into my field. He knows nothing about music. Nothing at all. But you know what? I'm going to show him that he knows nothing about music and he knows even less about wrestling. Let me tell you something, Mr. Albano. I challenge you, you fat bag of wind. I challenge you in your own backyard. To what? I'm going to get a female wrestler. In 1 week, I will have a female wrestler. And you can get anybody you want, fat man. You can get anybody you want. And I'll have my wrestler fight yours. And I'll show you that you know nothing about music and even less about wrestling, fatso. So what do you say to that?
You're gonna get yourself hurt. You're gonna get yourself hurt. I'm telling you, you're gonna. Can you believe that ungrateful wench?
Can you imagine that, Cyndi Lauper, just to sit there and listen to that Cyndi Lauper come out telling you about her mother crying. Her sister. You know, Cyndi Lauper, you're a disgrace to your mother, to your family, to your grandmother, and everyone involved.
Accept your challenge.
I accept your challenge.
Take her, man.
You got it. You want it. Well, now you got it. I accept it. I don't care about your mother, Lady Lauper, Miss Lauper. Pay attention. You're a liar. You're a sneak. You're a cheat. You're a disgrace to your family. And I made you. I made you, Lauper. Get it straight. I accept. I accept, Ronnie. I accept. Got it, Lauper? You got it? We got it? I accept. You got it? That's it. I accept.
You accept.
Remember it, Lauper. I've got it. I'm ready. I accept. Oh, pig.
A very serious challenge, David. There's no doubt that the accomplishments of you and Cyndi Lauper have been phenomenal in the world of music, but what can you honestly hope to accomplish here?
Well, I'll tell you something, Vince. He has totally violated every principle that Cyndi stands for. And rather than get into a whole lot of lawsuits and take years to settle in court, we made a decision together that she wanted to challenge him in his own turf and show him up right where it hurts in the world of wrestling. And she has found herself a female wrestler who is dynamite to go against Moolah, or whatever her name is, that Mr. Albano has gotten, and we're going to have a little showdown. And I think she's going to show him once and for all that a woman her place is just not in the kitchen getting pregnant and all that other nonsense that slob said of her. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for her to stand up for what she believes in, and I'm going to support her all the way.
What kind of hopes do you have of success?
I think we're going to do just fine. We've made a few friends in the World Wrestling Federation, and there's a lot of wrestlers that are really supporting what we're trying to accomplish, that also share with us our belief in terms of what Mr. Albano stands for. And I think we have a terrific chance to do just fine. And whatever happens, we're going to do it. We're going to stand up for what we believe in. He is one of the most abominable liars I have ever met in my entire life, and to just continually do this and embarrass us every opportunity and chance he gets, that's it. We'll beat him in his own game. One way or the other, we're gonna show him.
You think you're gonna kick his butt?
Kick his butt? You know, he taught Cyndi something. He taught her the peg principle. Well, we're gonna show him the bad principle. We're gonna show him that he's gonna get beaten, annihilated, and destroyed. And yes, we're gonna kick his butt.
What? You know what? You and that little wimp, that lousy liar, that snake Cyndi Lauper! Get out here, you! You and that Cyndi Lauper! Come on! You're gonna do what to me? Come on! You're gonna do what to me? Come on, would you please? You're gonna do what to me? You're gonna do what to me?
Would you please?
What are you gonna do?
David,
what are you gonna do, you punk, you? You punk, you!
I'm sorry, David.
What are you gonna do, you punk, you?
I apologize. Please sit down. Please sit down. I apologize. You just don't know what's going to happen when you have a man like that as a guest. I apologize. I don't know what to say. On behalf of TNT...
That man is going to go down in Madison Square Garden. We're going to destroy him, that ridiculous wrestler that's going to actually be with him. We're going to make a mockery out of everything that he has said. That's it, man. This is just totally outrageous.
David, again, For what it's worth, we apologize for Lou Albano's actions. It seems like we're always doing that. Lou Albano, David Wolf, again, thank you very much for joining us. Our apologies. We'll have a little more semblance of order here on the set with Lord Alfred Hayes, now that Mr. Albano has departed the scene, and his counterpart, in some respects, David Wolf. We obviously had to call out security moments ago, but perhaps we should have called out the United States Marine Corps. With that in mind, that certainly will bring us to our next guest, the individual who's the first inductee into Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Corps. Our guest from Amarillo, Texas, Terry Daniels. As the first inductee into Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Corps, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means a whole lot to me, Mr. McMahon, because it's a great privilege to serve in the Marines, but it's even a greater privilege to serve in the Cobra Corps because of what Sergeant Slaughter stands for. He stands for America himself. He puts a lot of heart into everything he does, and that's the example I'd like to follow myself.
Well, indeed, you have followed those words a great deal in your career in professional wrestling. You yourself are quite an outstanding young wrestler. Lord, how would you assess the capabilities of Terry Daniels?
Well, I've watched him. I'm fascinated not only by what he does, but I'm fascinated by the strange way he speaks. I think he has a wonderful future in front of him, and what an association he's chosen, and what an honor to be inducted into the Cobra Corps. Something he's never, ever going to forget.
All right, if we may now, we'd like to take you to some video footage. We'll take you now to a matchup that's just about ready to happen. Sergeant Slaughter will be making his way to the ring. You'll note who will be leading the way, Terry Daniels.
Weighing in at 296 pounds, here is Sergeant Slaughter.
A standing ovation. Look at this. Sergeant Slaughter. Slaughter, without a doubt, one of the toughest men in professional wrestling today. Slaughter up on the apron now. He better watch himself with Tiger Chung-Lee with that kendo stick. Without a doubt, one of the most patriotic individuals in the United States of America. Slaughter for president. How about that, Gene?
Well, his popularity is second to none, and that's typical of some of the signs that we see ringside this week. Just prior to this match,
Sergeant Slaughter being supported by Terry Daniels, and it's just the other way around as well, is it not?
Yes, sir. He's got just as much heart in what he does, and he puts as much effort in towards me. He looks out for me and I look out for him, because one Marine always looks out for another, so we have nothing to worry about.
Without a doubt, Slaughter has a reputation of being one of the toughest and certainly the most aggressive wrestlers in professional wrestling today. Would you agree with that, Lord Alfred Hayes?
Oh, I am so impressed with Sergeant Slaughter. He is a man who has his mind set on an objective. When he goes into the ring, he forgets everything else except that objective that is in mind, that goal to be reached, that goal to be attained. And I think he is probably the most single-minded wrestler in that aspect of all the professional wrestlers in the world of wrestling today. I hope Terry can emulate that.
Well, he has thus far, and in a moment we'll return with more of Terry Daniels and more of Sergeant Slaughter. We'll take you to some very special footage all the way out to the Statue of Liberty. We'll be back as we continue with more TNT. We're back with Terry Daniels. Mr. Daniels, a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and apparently just as importantly, a cadet, actually, or I guess not cadet so much, inductee, the first one, that is, in Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Corps. In terms of supporting each other, I would think you would take that to the limit somewhat in upcoming tag team matches that you and the Sarge have online.
Yes, sir. There's some stiff competition out there as far as tag teams go. In order to have a successful tag team combination, you've got to be able to know what the other person is going to do. For example, Sergeant Slaughter, he's got to know what I will do. He's got to know that I will be behind him if he gets in trouble. Vice versa, I've got to have him behind me if I get in trouble. So you've got to put this together, and of course, being two Marines, then neither one of us have to worry because that's what we're trained at doing.
I was going to say, it seems to me that in military training that you would have teamwork is really the key. It should somewhat come natural to you and the Sarge.
Yes, sir, that's very important. If you don't have your teamwork down, then the battle's lost.
What about the possibility of meeting the tag team champions Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch? Would you and the Sarge look forward to that?
Yes, sir, we will. That's a great honor there to meet the tag team champions because they worked their way up to get the belts. And to have a shot with them is kind of like a dream come true, for me especially. Now, for me and Sergeant Slaughter, we've got to work especially hard because Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch are a couple of tough characters.
One of them also from Texas, your home state. Recently, you took a rather unusual trip over to the Statue of Liberty with the Sarge, did you not?
No, sir, I didn't have a chance to go, but Sergeant Slaughter went over with me in mind, and he took my pride along with him.
All right. What we'd like to do is take you now to some of that very special footage that we were referring to earlier on, and we thank you very much for joining us, Terry.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
Terry Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, a first inductee in Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Corps, apparently just as proud to be a part of the Cobra Corps as he is the Marine Corps. So now let's take you to very special footage involving Sergeant Slaughter, along with the restoration of the Statue of Liberty.
Right there. Miss Liberty.
Earlier on, we had with us as our guest Butcher Paul Vashon, who has some rather unusual talents. Well, his brother that we made reference to earlier on, Maurice Mad Dog Vashon, has some rather unusual talents as well. He's somewhat of a cult hero, actually, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll take you to the footage of the Mad Dog making his return to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
There he is! Holy mackerel!
Oh, look at these fans stand and applaud the Mad Dog. 230 pounds, Algiers, Algeria. Truly one of the legends in professional wrestling. And now, the Mad Dog arriving in the World Wrestling Federation to get his piece of the action.
Mad Dog Vashon brought into this arena with a standing ovation for this capacity crowd. And as he was taking a bow, he got Pearl Harbor by Buddy Colt. But I wouldn't count on it for too long.
Colt, 248 pounds, Las Vegas, Nevada. Listen to this crowd. This is called energy. And the Dog breaks the eyes of Colt. Oh, and a big left chop to the upper body of Buddy Colt. Now Mad Dog is fighting Colt. Oh, my.
I think Colt made a big mistake, Gene, in that Pearl Harbor attack. This guy's roughing up without riling him up.
Colt over the ropes, and Mad Dog has really taken matters into his own hands.
Fabulous ovation for Butcher Paul Vashon's brother, Mad Dog, in Minneapolis. I'm sure many a wrestler would like to have that in terms of an ovation, a reception into the ring. We certainly hope you have enjoyed this presentation of Tuesday Night Titans. When we return, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 weeks. By the way, next week we'll take you to the Capitol Center for a World Wrestling Federation spectacular. The following week, Tuesday Night Titans will return, and with us will be our guest, Greg the Hammer Valentine, one of the foremost wrestlers in the World Wrestling Federation today. And well, to join Mr. Valentine, his wife, who is a very attractive lady, so I'm told. Alfred?
A beautiful girl, she really is. And but let's face it, Greg is a very good-looking fellow. They deserve each other.
I would suppose so. And we'll find that out when they join us. To join us also, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 weeks here on TNT will be Tony Garea from Auckland, New Zealand. And to round things out with bagpipes and all, the pipers will be piping. We'll have with us Rowdy Roddy Piper himself.